Hello, welcome to Bourbon and a Baby. My name is Jay. Max will not be joining us today because Max is currently running around upstairs because he just got home from school and he's got all this energy to burn out. Today is another episode of Drink Ohio Whiskey, Drink Ohio Bourbon. Want to highlight distilleries in Ohio that are producing some really good stuff. As you can shout out the Ohio flag behind me here. If you can't tell, I am based in Ohio. Shout out Tiffin, Ohio. And today I'm going to be reviewing Watershed Distillery out of Columbus, Ohio. This is part of their fall finishing series. This one's a couple batches before where they're at now. I think they're on batch 5 or 6 now. This is batch number 2, so a little older here. But this is their bourbon finished in Apple Brandy Barrels. It's aged 6 years. It's a limited release. It is barrel strength, so 120.8 proof. So I have had this one other time before, and I remember it kind of taking a bit to open up. I remember it being really hot right off the top. So I might pour this and let it sit for a minute because I remember the very first sip being like, whoa. And then after a few minutes, it kind of opened up. But yeah, Watershed Distillery, again, I said out of Columbus, Ohio. They make a lot of really, really good whiskey. I think they're, right up there as far as, I think there are some really top distilleries in Ohio. They are one of them. I would put them, kind of in that same category as Middle West Spirits, also out of Columbus. High Bank Distillery, also out of Columbus. I would put them on the short list of, definitely best distilleries in Ohio, what they do there. Their former master distiller was Aaron Harris, who is now the master distiller at Green River. Green River is kind of a big Kentucky distillery, so that was a nice promotion for Aaron there. But he was doing some really good stuff. This was released when he was still there. So with this being 6 years old, Watershed kind of, when they first hit market, before Aaron started working there, they had a 5-grain mash bill to kind of shout out how bourbon was distilled in the past.
We have for sample here our 6-year barrel strength bourbon. It is our 4-year original 5-grain recipe, aged for 2 years in an Apple Brandy cask. It's a limited release.
What's that 5-grain mash bill?
So the original 5-grain mash bill consisted of corn, wheat, rye, and spelt in the malt. So that was a nod to traditional distilling in Ohio. Spelt's grown up here very, very well. So we have since refined that recipe. About 5 years ago, they switched to a standard recipe, which was a 72-21-7 mash bill, rye mash bill. It's kind of a mid-run.
When they first hit market with their bourbon, and I think when they first released it was pretty young. It didn't go over super well. It was, and I remember drinking, a little bit of from those first releases and thinking it's not it. I don't know if it was the youth or if it was, just their mash bill or what. But they did change it up and do a more typical 3-grain mash bill now with your corn, malted barley, and rye. So I don't know. When this was first released, I feel like their 6-year stuff might have been that original 5-grain mash bill, but I'm not positive on that. And I can't really find anything on it online. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is their 5 or their 3-grain bourbon. But this was released celebrating their 10 years of independent distilling, so that's cool. And let me just read a little bit off the back of the bottle while I still wait for this to open up here. This crafted spirit is a marriage of a small number of hand-selected mature bourbons, finished in our toasted American oak Apple Brandy Barrels, aged 6 years and bottled at barrel strength. Watershed Barrel Strength Bourbon is the perfect celebration of our 10-year anniversary. With aromas of baked apples and toasted almonds, this complex whiskey gives way to cascading flavors of honey, dried plums, and sweet spice. We hope you enjoy sipping it as much as we enjoyed creating it. So again, 120.8 proof. So that's exciting to get into. Just to be clear, I don't like apples. Why would I buy a bourbon that was aged in Apple Brandy barrels. I don't know. But again, I did try this one previous time and I did really like it. I hate apples. I hate even like apple flavored stuff. I don't remember there being a strong apple taste, but there probably is. So yeah, let's see how we do. So hopefully this opened up here while I've been jabbering on and on about it. Again, that 120.8 proof, really get that ethanol up front. Getting more like cinnamon. When I first popped the cork, I felt like I could really smell the apples. I don't smell that now, but I got like an apple cider smell right off the cork pop. But I'm getting less of that now. Yeah, cinnamon, some clove, some pepper, like black pepper, and a hint of that apple, I think, but not much. All right, let's try this out. Cheers to you all. Cheers to Ohio. I've filmed a couple reviews before this one, both being lower proofed bourbons. So this barrel strength definitely hit me right up front. Can definitely feel that 120.8 proof. I've had 120 proof stuff that tastes harder and kicks you in the face more than this. I think that was more of just like a first sip, getting used to. So let's try it again. Oh yeah, much better. All right, this is good and warm. Definitely feel that 120.8. But again, dare I say a smooth 120.8. Definitely get some black pepper. Definitely get some of that like clove that I got on the nose. Less cinnamon than I got on the nose. There's a little bit of sweetness in there too. Some like, I feel like I do on like the finish pick up a little bit of that apple. But again, especially being not an apple guy, it's not overpowering, so that's good for me. And I feel like, you know, when if you've had like bourbons finished in like brandy or cognac or you know, other kind of barrels like that, you kind of pick up like this different feel and taste to the whiskey than typical. It's hard to describe, but I do pick that up here. So I think that's from that apple being in those apple brandy casks. Yeah, each sip. Now I got the cinnamon. The pepper, the clove, and then again, it kind of like attacks your tongue, but then as it mellows, it gets like nice and calm. You pick up more of the sweetness. You almost like a little bit of vanilla in there, maybe a hint of honey, and you kind of pick up on that apple as well. So yeah, this is good, really good. And again, someone who absolutely hates apples. This is good. This is something I would highly recommend. Again, Watershed's got a pretty good, at least throughout Ohio. I don't know what they're like in other states. They have a pretty good distribution. You can find this out there. You can find these releases out there. If you come across one, especially if you like higher proof stuff, it's a big recommend for me. Like higher proof stuff, you like barrel finishes, definitely get this. It's really, really good. It's something that I think if you're a bourbon lover, especially if you like to try a lot of new things, you're gonna love this. This is really good. Shout out to Watershed Distillery. Shout out to Ohio. Shout out to you. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can follow Max and myself on Facebook, Instagram, and X, or Twitter. I still like to say Twitter. We are at Bourbon Baby on all those platforms. See you there. Cheers. Okay. Honey. We've got a lot of honey on that sip. And vanilla with all the other stuff that I said earlier. This is awesome. I love this. Buy a bottle of this if you can. Let me add this real quick to our infinity bottle. Get some finished whiskey in here. This infinity bottle is really starting to fill up. So if you watch this video, if you want a sample of this infinity bottle, email me, bourbonandbaby@gmail.com. Maybe I can hook you up. Cheers.